Good morning, you guys. Day number 95 of my stay-batical to 50, 100-day journey. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Coming to an end here very soon. Changing my body, my mind, watching what happens. And so come on here on my walks that I take in the morning. I do a 60-minute walk. On the weekends, it's a little bit later than during the week. During the week, it's usually when the sun's coming up. That's when I try to pop on live, but on the weekends, a little more lazy. Went to the farmer's market this morning, and man, I don't know about your farmer's market, but it's way down in attendance. The vendors are very slim pickings right now. Thankfully, the two meat vendors that I buy from were both there today. I think I got, what did I get? 18 pounds of sausage and 12 pounds of grass-fed beef. So I'm stocking up for the winter since they're going away. Next Saturday is the last day the farmer's market is open. So Jimmy is trying to stock up. So I've got a deep freezer full of all kinds of meats that I'm hoping will tide me over during the winter time while they are away. But hello. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday so far. Day 95 of this journey, guys. It is coming to an end this next week. And I'm going to remind you, day 100 is on Thursday. So I will be going live that day, obviously. And then I'm also going live on Friday, which will be the day after this is all over. And, thank you, Cleopatra Bruja, for getting a badge. If you guys want to support the work here, you can also buy a badge. It's a pretty cool little thing that Instagram, when you watch live, lets you do. But I'll be here next Friday, or this coming up Friday, to kind of do a recap of how this went, some thoughts about some interesting things that happened in the midst of this journey. So don't miss that. But definitely I'm going to try to go live as much as I can this week. I have not taken a break now in 10 days. And so usually my body kind of gives me signs that I need to take a break. So might take a break tomorrow. We'll just see. Playing it all by ear. It is what it is. But guys, I want to talk about a really important topic. Thank you, Kira. Kira also got a badge. So as always, feel free to do that, you guys, if you like what I do here. But I'm going to talk about a topic here that I think will be interesting today. And it's one of the fun parts of this stay-batical has been talking to you guys, talking about mindset stuff, life stuff, changing of beliefs. There's so many things that we get caught up in, right? And so, Kira is trying to glow again. Kira bought a bunch of badges so she could glow. Yes. Okay, so today's topic is default to compassion for others. Do you do that? Do you default that compassion is the first thing that you think of when other people interact with you? And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that most people, they default to whatever mood they're in at the very moment. And if we only default to what mood we're in at the moment, how do you know that's the appropriate response? I think so many people don't even realize the power of their own words. They don't realize that they can contribute to someone being successful or not in their interactions with people. I think we just assume that people will take what we say in the way maybe we think it, but we don't always say it or present it. And I think that's a mistake. I feel like people have decently good intentions with their interactions with people, but it doesn't always come across that way. And I feel like if you made a conscious effort to default to compassion, not making assumptions about people, not judging them based on the past, although I do think the past is a good indicator of future results and future behavior. Don't just judge people based on their past. We need to be showing a lot more kindness and love and compassion and giving people benefit of the doubt and realizing that we're all generally good. I honestly believe that. I feel like people, they poo-poo on society so much. Well, society's changed. People are a lot more mean, a lot more whatever, fill in the blank of the descriptor of what you think people are now. And I think that's unfair. And whatever your thoughts are about other people, it's less a reflection of who they are and more a reflection of who you are. And one thing I have really honed in on in my own life is what can I do to impact my perception of other people in this world? Because it is easy to say, oh, that's a bad person. Oh, this person has that problem. Da-da-da-da-da. You could go down the line of all these things we even subconsciously think about when we interact with other people. And I've come to the conclusion to always just show love, kindness, and compassion to other people. And even if they lash out at me for whatever the reason, it's not me they're lashing out at. They got stuff in their life. And we all have stuff going on in our lives, don't we? We all have the need for love, kindness, compassion from others. How cool would the world be if we all looked through the prism of showing compassion, understanding, a smile, a genuine concern. Those things are all important, right? And if we gave that to one another, how much calmer could the world be? I would say a whole lot. A lot calmer. Good morning. And so, I guess the question becomes, why don't we already do that? Why is it that we default to whatever emotion and whatever thought pattern? Why do we default to characterizations in our mind of people, good or bad? Why do we give some people a pass, the benefit of the doubt, whereas other people we judge up, down, in between? We do. Why do we do that? Why do we allow ourselves to treat different people differently? I would argue we're not showing compassion. Which is why when you default to compassion, you show everyone the same love, the same kindness, the same respect. And if you're not doing that already, do it. Watch what happens. Watch how your interactions with people changes when you default to a compassionate heart. Far too often we go through life and we beg for people to show us mercy, kindness, compassion, and we never get it. And you always ask those people who want those things, how much of that are you giving other people? And most people are like, they don't. And so if people don't give compassion to others, how can you ever expect to get it back? Watch how your life changes when you start putting the focus of others first. When you show them the kind of compassion that you yourself deeply desire and want and crave, and I will say need. If you're a Christian, then you know that it's kind of one of the commands is to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. But you don't even have to be religious to do this. This is about human decency, about love for mankind, realizing we are all in this big family called human life. And how much better could the world be if we all showed each other a little more respect, gave each other a little more benefit of the doubt, had compassion in our hearts for people? I think the world could be radically different than it is now. All this division that we deal with, all of the hate that seems to be spewed out there, it's all nonsense. It's all predicated on a thankless, selfish, you fill in the blank of what it is. There's a lot of the negative stuff. It's just people looking out for themselves. And we should be mindful of others. Look, I do this walk and talk because it gives me a lot of comfort and joy and all the things that I get out of it. But I also do it as an encouragement to you guys. And a lot of you say that you didn't know you needed to hear what I had to say until after I say it, and you're like, whoa, I really needed to hear that. That's me showing compassion to you guys, because I know that a lot of you struggle with a lot of this mindset stuff. And I have too. Something I've worked on very hard on myself on. And it's going to be a major focus of my work in 2022. So hold on tight, guys. Stick around. It's going to be a wonderful ride here in the next year. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Oh, crap. It turned on the music. I touched my Beats by Dre and it turned on the music. I had to turn that off real quick. That was so weird because I'm like, why is there Justin Bieber and the Kid LaCroix playing in my ear? Anyway, day 95, you guys, of my stay-batical to 50. 100 days is coming very quickly. This week, I will hit finally that 100 days. And then I'm going away for 3 weeks. Going completely offline. I'm finishing up a book that I'm writing on mindset called The One Step Deeper Journal, The Foundations, co-authored by my One Step Deeper podcast co-host, Brittany Davis is her name. And so we've been working hard on that for months, but we're in the crunch time of getting that book done. So very pleased to get that out here in the early 2022. But yeah, day 95, guys. Rocking and rolling this. What do you think about this topic of defaulting to compassion for others? Is this something you do? Is this something that has become a part of who you are? Or is it something that you could work on? And again, no shame if you don't currently default to compassion. Compassion means you show love for other people that you may not even know. And I know that's hard for people to wrap their heads around because we, as human beings, like to give love when we get love. And I think that's where we got it wrong. You don't wait until you get love until you give love. I think you give it, and it's through the giving of love that you start to get it. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the way you wanted to, but that is the order. Otherwise, you're very selfish, and you wait on other people to show you kindness, compassion, and love, and then it never happens, and so you become bitter, and you become angry at the world. Why doesn't anybody seem to care about me? You want people to care about you? Then you yourself need to care about others. Yep. That's how it works, guys. Hate to break it to you. The reciprocation only happens when you take the initiative and show that love to other people. So you have your marching orders. Go get them, guys. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Hello, Keto Patra. Bulletproof Coconut says, go Jimmy. 95 with a celebration hat. I'm pretty proud of how far I've gotten in this journey. It's been a long journey, I will tell you. 100 days, woo! In hindsight, I don't know if I would have made it that long, but I'm kind of glad I did, because if I did a shorter version, then some of the adversity I went through early on, and I had a lot of it, it would have ended sooner. And now I'm seeing, going as long as I have, more than 3 months now, now I'm seeing, okay, all that adversity was just early. It's been pretty smooth riding here, other than a few little lingering issues with the blisters the last couple weeks, but those are finally starting to calm down a bit for me. And I wouldn't have seen it had I ended this sooner. Good morning, Cherish. Thanks for being here. USC Trojan 98 says, hey, Jimmy, how much weight have you lost since the beginning? I have no idea. Not weighing myself. And I've talked about that many times on these walk and talks. That was not interesting to me. Because if you're putting in effort and all these things that I'm doing, which I'll briefly go over them now, it's eating carnivore on the odd days, fasting on the even days, red light therapy, vibration plate, infrared sauna, ice baths, grounding with sunshine exposure, all these things, meditation, doing them every day and watching what happens. And so it would be very obvious that if you put in the effort for all those things, that you're going to lose weight. So it's not necessary to quantify that weight loss. But I know I feel better, and I'm going to talk about all the ways that I changed during this 100 days on Friday. So come back and watch it Friday, or watch the replay from this coming up Friday. So, but no idea how much weight I've lost. Not really a focus of mine, but thank you for playing. Thank you for asking. I love that roll with the punches. Yeah, you always have to roll with the punches. Life's too short to let everybody beat you down. Don't get beat down. Just roll with it. Take a flyer, as they say. Keto Patra says, can you recommend a guest and best way to jump in? Are you talking about podcasting, Keto Patra? I'm not sure what you're asking. If you could ask it again, I'll get to it here in just a minute down there, but I'm not sure what you're asking. Can I recommend a guest and best way to jump in? If you're talking about podcasting, I mean, I have a million guests that I've interviewed. I'd say find people that you find interesting if you're talking about podcasting. And the best way to jump in is just jump in. People try to make that so hard. Oh, I don't know how to start a podcast. Just start talking to people. Well, who do I talk to? You talk to interesting people to you. Like, don't make this hard. When I first started podcasting 16 years ago, I didn't know anybody. I was just some dude that lost weight. And all I did was this magical, I'm going to tell you the secret. All I did was this magical secret. I asked people. That's it. I just asked. And if you ask them and they have interest, they will come on your show. In fact, I've helped a lot of people start their podcasts. And I'm like the first guest on like 200 different podcasts out there. One of the very first guests. And I love that. I love inspiring people to go start their own show. If you got a passion, get your voice out there. If you feel like you got the chops to do it, get out there. No sense in sitting on the sidelines. I had a really good friend of mine on Twitter. she's written a couple of books in the keto space. And somebody said, hey, you should start your own podcast to her. And her response was, well, there's like 800 keto podcasts out there now. I just don't know that we need another one. My response back to her was, yeah, but we don't have one from you. And she's somebody that has a lot of scientific moxie that explains things really well. And so I said, and of those 800, 750 of them aren't nearly as good as you. So get your voice out there. She appreciated hearing that. Whether she does or not is another story, but it is what it is. But yeah, with all the platforms these days, it's very easy to do a podcast. I record all of my podcasts actually doing Instagram lives. So you go live on Instagram, you record the interview, download it to your phone. Then when it's time to air the podcast, I put it into iMovie. I'm an Apple guy. So I put it into iMovie and put like an intro, outro, put a few ads in there, and then upload it to YouTube. And then we upload the audio to all the audio podcasts places, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. And yeah, not hard. The best podcast advice I could give you is just be interesting. There are people who do a podcast and you're just listening and going, do you even care about this subject? Act like you give a damn about the subject. Be a little bit fun, a little bit interesting. Nothing worse than those people that they write out a list of questions and they're interviewing somebody interesting, but because their questions are down, they have to go down that list of questions. They're not really listening to the guest. Listen to your guest and just have a conversation. There's nothing worse than reading questions or failing to follow up on a point that somebody made. It's why I don't really write notes. I don't prepare. I just talk to people, and it always comes out pretty interesting. But I have done it a while, so I realize that's a skill that I've learned. But you'll get good at it. You just got to get out there. Kira says, the love of the glow. Yes. When you buy a badge 3 times, your face glows on the screen. I guess that makes you a super fan. And Kira, you are a super fan. So yeah, if you guys want to support, there's a little buy a badge down there. Appreciate that. Bulletproof says, I tend to default to compassion as that is who I am. I couldn't live with myself if I was cruel. Well, yeah. And you don't even have to be cruel. I think just ambivalence is just as bad. Showing compassion is the opposite of ambivalence. I guess the total opposite would be cruel, but ambivalence is just as bad to me as being cruel. Acting like you don't care. Because when you treat someone else like they're nothing, they're going to start to feel like nothing, and then they reciprocate that on to other people. They feel like nothing, and so they treat other people in their life like nothing, and then those people go, well, I don't feel like anything. I feel like nothing, so I'm going to treat that. You see what I'm saying? It just cascades into this ugly world that I don't want to live in. Whereas if we all start to show that kindness and compassion with one another, it came on again. Okay, Bieber, I like you, but not that much. Not when I'm trying to talk. I do the same thing that I ever. It's like, ugh. Don't need to hear the song Stay right now. But we all need to default to compassion, because look at how the world would change. You show someone compassion, then they have a softened heart, so that then they show compassion to the next person. And then that next person shows it to the next person. And it becomes this beautiful domino effect. Now, not everyone will participate in this, so that's where this gets difficult. It's why you need to show compassion regardless of how you get it back. And if we all started doing that, man, we could change this world so much. So much. Good morning, Linda. Thanks for being here. Cherish says, an interesting topic today. Do you think your level of compassion depends on your history with that individual? Yes, that does come into play. Especially family members, that can be a little tough. Maybe a longtime friend that you've just tolerated what they call as quirks, and that's just the way they are. Yeah, it can be tough. I still think you can show compassion to them, but with the knowledge of who they are, realizing that it may not go very well. And maybe that's when you can have those conversations with those people. And not everyone's going to be receptive. Some people feel like the world owes them. So if you show compassion, they're like, okay, yeah, that's what I expected. I'm owed that. But then they themselves don't see that they bear that same onus back. And that's not your problem. That's not what you can control. All you can control is the compassion you show other people. What other people choose to do with that is on them. And we don't need to worry ourselves with what other people choose to do. We just need to do the right thing for ourselves. As Bulletproof said earlier, it's just who I am. And it's just who I am in my life at this point too. I couldn't imagine not showing compassion and love and encouragement to other people. That's just in my DNA. And I have no expectation to get it back. Now, the good part is, because I do that in my daily life, I do get a lot of love and compassion and respect back. Because eventually it will come back to you when you do good stuff. Definitely all in on that topic. We compare way too much with each of us as humans. Yes, we do like to play the comparison game. What other people are or do is of no consequence to Jimmy Moore. I admire from afar people that do good things. I also shake my head going, why are they doing that to other people doing other things? But if I'm in someone's life, I owe it to them to show compassion. And I always will. I always will. It's very easy to say, well, I'll show compassion when they show me compassion, and then nobody gets any compassion. You make the move. You show the love for the other person, and whether they reciprocate or not, it's not on you at that point. You did your part. Give everyone and yourself some grace, says Cherish. Yes. Grace, love, compassion, respect. I think that's all we as human beings want. Treat us like human beings. I am amazed over these past 2 years how the whole concept of being human with one another has been radically shifted. If you guys notice that, it seems that we value fellow human life less now than I think we have before. And when I say we, I mean collectively society, not we as individuals. What I'm sharing here today is we as individuals can take back that narrative of the world kind of going mad these last 2 years by doing what we're talking about here today, of showing compassion, defaulting to that. Showing compassion and love and kindness and respect to other people. It's going to change that tidal wave back to where it needs to be. And it won't be overnight. And it won't be because of a few people doing this. We need as many people doing this as possible, which is why I'm talking about this subject so openly today. We want to change the culture, the vibe that's out there right now, It ain't going to just happen, guys. We have to be deliberate, purposeful in seeking out those opportunities to show compassion, to show forgiveness, to show genuine love, no matter who you are. There's a friend of mine right now who has welcomed in a cousin of hers, and the cousin is staying with her for 2 weeks. And this cousin was totally ostracized by the family. She did something a few years back that pretty much just everybody in the family shunned her, including this friend of mine. And the friend of mine has felt a little bit convicted that she didn't deserve to be completely shunned. So she decided to show compassion on this cousin. And now she's hosting the cousin, getting to know her more, talking about things. And at the same time, she's trying to get family members to warm up to the cousin. That's love. That's compassion. That's respect for a fellow human being, and in this case, someone in the family. We discard people way too quickly in our culture, don't we? The whole cancel culture nonsense that's out there. You did one thing that we didn't like, so canceled. How stupid is that? You wrote something on Twitter 10 years ago. We don't like it. Canceled. Yeah, fuck you. You can't cancel me. People have tried to do that to me. Well, we saw this thing from you, and so therefore we don't like it. Canceled. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'm still here. Show a little kindness and compassion. These things keep falling out of my ear, and every time I do that, push them back in. Now it's playing Easy on Me by Adele. Beats by Dre is kicking my ass today. But that's interesting to know. I can listen to music while I'm doing this. But that would be highly distracting for me. To judge is part of the herd mentality, says Del Norte. Yeah. It's very easy to judge others. The Bible has a verse, I'm going to paraphrase it, but when you see the speck of dust in another man's eye, don't forget about the big ass log that's in your eye. Yes. Most people who do the judging, they would not want that same scrutiny on themselves. Which is why showing compassion for others is so necessary. Because we all have stuff we're not proud of, right? Kira has a good question. How can I balance having tough love with compassion? I think tough love is compassion. Because if you didn't care about that person you're giving the tough love to, Kira, if you didn't have compassion for them, wanting them to be better, you wouldn't say anything. And the fact that you want to give tough love, that is the definition of being compassionate. I think we have a perverted way of looking at compassion. We think compassion means coddle. I don't think compassion means coddle at all. I think compassion is sharing with people what you think would be in their best interest. And so, sometimes tough love, if it's done with a truly good heart, which I know you, so I know it's true that you're doing it from a good-hearted perspective. Tough love is showing that compassion. So there's no need to balance it. They're synonymous. One and the same, as they say. Keto Patra says, I'm so happy for you. Talk about the day 95. Thank you. I need to work on it. Awesome. I always regret later, says Keto Patra. Yeah, that you don't show compassion to others. It is easy to walk away from a situation and go, oh man, I could have been better for them. If you know about it, then you can change. Good morning. And when you know better, you do better. So just do better. I think we could all stand to do that, right? Hello from Italy, Rome, Dr. Galli. Thanks for being here, Dr. Galli. I bet you feel good, says Keto Patra. I do feel good. Tune in on Friday. I'll tell you all about all the everything with this journey. Definitely been eye-opening for a lot of reasons that you might think about and a lot of things that you may not even realize. That's a teaser for Friday, so come back, you guys. Oh, you're talking about jumping into ketosis. So your question that I thought was about podcasting, you're talking about ketosis. So who do you want to talk to? Yeah, literally anybody in the keto space. You talk to anybody. I think my emotions, she says, are sabotaging me. Therefore, I'm sabotaging myself. Look, that happens. It's why I talk about mindset so much. We let our own heads get in the way, and our feelings about things, and our feelings about ourselves, our self-image, how we look. We let negative things that were said to us by well-meaning people in the past still reverberate in our minds. That's tough because you hear those things. I'm dealing with it in relationships right now. I have trauma from my past of things that were said to me that now behaviors by people in my life, I'm like, and I have to remind myself, it's not what I think. Can't let my mind fool me into believing things that we don't have any evidence for. And that's what I would encourage you. Focus on what is real. Not on what you think is real. Not on what pops in your head, but on what is actually happening. That's going to help you. Ashton says, sometimes it's hard when that person has hurt you on a regular basis. Well, let's be clear. Thank you, Ashton. Showing compassion to someone requires them to acknowledge what you're doing. And the acknowledgement comes from having conversations, coming in your direction in some way. They may not full on come back to you in the same degree that you came to them, but they've got to show a little bit of a step in your direction. And so please don't hear me say default to compassion for others and you just take abuse. Nobody needs to take abuse. Hello. Nobody needs to take abuse. And if you're in a situation where you're showing compassion, but then they try to take advantage of it, and it's a regular occurrence like you're describing, if it's somebody you can let go of in your life, you may need to let them go. I have lost many friends like that, and quite frankly, I've had to do that with my own father. I let him go because he refused to show me any love or compassion after what he did to me when I was a teenager. And I did all I could to be in his life and to do things for him and honor him. And in the end, all he did was spit in my face. Not literally, but figuratively. Hello. So, you may need to cut ties. with whoever you're talking about. You receive what you give, says Bulletproof. That you do. Not always in the way you think, but you do get a lesson that is positive for you back when you give, when you freely give with an earnest heart, with good motives, good intentions. That's all that matters. Gabby says, hello. Hello, Gabby. Thanks for being here. What time on Friday, says Keto Patra. So during the week, I like to go live when the sun comes up on the East Coast. So somewhere around 7:30 is when I typically have been going live. Hello. So look for me on Friday, and all during the week. I'll be going live most of the week. I think it's supposed to pour down rain, like 90% chance on Wednesday. So Wednesday may be a challenge. It's going to be like 90% chance of rain with 30s. I don't know if I want to get out here in all that weather, but we shall see. We'll see how it goes. Del Norte, being critical of others, says how we feel inside about ourselves. Yeah. I am slow to criticize other people, especially people I don't even know. It's why it's a fruitless activity to even engage with people online who are being ugly with you. It's very easy for them to lash out to complete strangers through the anonymity of the internet. I don't play that game. You got something to say to me, ugly? Okay. Hope you enjoyed writing that, because swipe, block, delete. I don't have time for negative mojo in my life. Learn how to talk to people, but pay no attention to those people trying to bring you down that don't even know you. It's not worth it, guys. Just not worth it. Sometimes cutting ties is showing your self-compassion. Oh, Cherish, thank you. Yes. And I would remove sometimes and say all the time. When you cut people, you're telling that person, look, I have given you chances, and I have set boundaries with you, and you have crossed all the boundaries, and you have not taken advantage of the chances. So, sayonara, and let them go. That can be hard. I realize it can be very hard, but it's the necessary thing to move on with your life. Del Norte says, I'm going to miss group therapy after the 100 days is over. Well, I'm only gone for 3 weeks, and then I'm back doing them again. So you'll make it. I've done these for almost 100 days, so you can go watch the past episodes over again. Maybe you'll hear something the second go round that you didn't hear the first go round. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, hashtag StayBatical50. You'll find them all. And then over on my website, livinglavidalowcarb.com/StayBatical. Keep you quite busy. You can also listen to my One Step Deeper podcast. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com is that website. We have 48 episodes, me and Brittany over there, which has a lot of these mindset types of topics as well. So if you didn't know about my other podcast, my mindset podcast, now you do. Go check it out. So yeah, guys, day 95. Rocking and rolling this Staybatical. So happy to have you guys along for the journey. It's been a lot of fun sharing in this. I am looking forward to having a bit of a social media break coming up 1 week from today. I will be gone, and then gone for 3 weeks, coming back on Saturday, January 1st, 2022, and then all the podcasts come back that weekend as well. So Excited to spend this last week with you guys before going away. So I'm going to pop off of here for now. Thanks so much for watching today. Go enjoy this beautiful Saturday wherever you live. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.